Hi, everybody, and welcome to a very special dose of Dr.
E
and Dr. P. So this is special for two reasons. First, you can tell we're not in our studio. We are actually live on location at Steve's house. This is actually Steve's bed. So that's reason number one. And reason two is we have a special guest. Who's this guy?
Yeah, this is Wilbur. Wilbur is 11 years old. He's my pet, brought into my life by my significant other, Jamie, and he is amazing. And today we're going to talk about how having a pet can improve your diabetes control and many other issues.
So there's actually 4 other bunnies running around here somewhere. Wilbur's not the only guy. I have a little wiener dog, but we left him at home because he'd go crazy with these rabbits. But anyways, we wanted to start with some interesting facts about rabbits, actually. So the very first way that we defined what 1 unit of insulin was, and this is true, back in the 20s when we discovered insulin, is people had different concentrations and different formulas. They standardized it by 1 unit was the amount that it took to make a rabbit hypoglycemic. So obviously we're not going to do that to poor Wilbur, but it's just an interesting rabbit fact that that's where the term unit actually came from.
Yeah, and a lot of good research has come out of rabbits and other animals, and we don't want to think about that.
So, we're talking broadly about pets and how this might help people with diabetes. So not just rabbits, dogs, everything, So we actually have 6 different ways that this might help people with diabetes, and we're going to go through them. So number 1 is actually, this should come as no surprise, is, emotional support, stress reduction, improving your mood, all of that.
And you know what? It's really true. Pets have unconditional love for their owners. And I don't care what kind of pet it is. And that goes a long way when you talk about the human race,
And we were just reading this online survey from the American Heart Association where they said 95% of pet owners rely on their pets to improve their mood. I thought some other interesting thing that 70% of people said that they actually take better care of their pets than themselves. But also the vast majority said they'd much rather use their pet to de-stress them than watch TV or any other kind of form of stress reduction.
Yeah.
And what were you just saying about your girlfriend, the best way to...
You know what? My girlfriend, she's a corporate lawyer. She gets uptight often, and she also doesn't watch some of these. And all I have to do is just put Wilbur, pick him up, put him on her lap, and she just melts. So there's no better stress release for her. She's had a rabbit since she was a kid, all the way through college. The other thing, Jeremy, is exercise.
Yeah, so that's number 2.
Okay.
So encouragement of physical activity. So, this might make sense more with a dog or something. You're out walking, you're scheduling kind of physical activity. So it's known that people that have, especially dogs or animals you take on walks, actually do more physical activity, which obviously can help with insulin resistance and things with diabetes.
And it's the best type of exercise. It's walking. So, and that's great. Now, the other thing is, it sort of relates to the first comment we made. It's you create some routine and structure. You have to feed your pet. You got to walk your pet. You got to water them. You got to clean them if it's not a rabbit because they lick themselves. And it turns out that when they study people with diabetes who have pets, they do better with their own routine.
And whether we like it or not, diabetes responds well to routine, helping you wake up at similar times a day, eating at similar times a day, and that's something that pets can help with too. Now, number 4 is something that's a little, special subset that you can train animals to detect hypoglycemia. And this is usually done with dogs. There's resources online you can go to. I found this one is dogs, number 4, diabetics, where they can actually either train your dog to detect hypoglycemia or more commonly, you can actually purchase, a dog. These can work relatively well.
Yeah.
We don't think it's a replacement for CGM or things like that, but I've heard that to really have them work the best, you can't really treat them fully as pets. They are kind of on the job when they can detect if you're low. They can even be trained to bring you things when you're hypoglycemic, which is actually pretty amazing. So this isn't a benefit of all pets, but kind of a special little subset.
Before CGM, these dogs were lifesavers. And for people with severe hypo-unawareness, you get your CGM, and then you get your dog. They can not only smell your saliva and the scent you get when you get low, but they can also detect disorientation and you becoming out of it. So, dogs are smart.
And I know you have a little vest for Wilbur that you put on him when you take him on planes.
Oh, that way I get on first and I get the best seat on Southwest flights.
All right, number 5, social interaction. So You know, this is kind of the opposite of Steve. You're more like me. If you know, it's tough for you to kind of maybe initiate conversation with someone. Get a pet, and guess what? You'll have 10 new friends whenever you take them to a restaurant or to a park or something like that.
You know what? If you're a single individual, you get a nice, cute pet. You go to a dog park or a park where people bring their pets. It's such a conversation piece. It opens the door where you might be hesitant before. It's really important for those of you that are single.
Now, or the last one, number 6, motivation and responsibility. So it can teach, you know, you how to be responsible for a pet. I found actually a really interesting study where they looked at kids that had type 1 diabetes, and if they were involved in helping out with their pet, they were much more likely to have kind of good blood sugar control. So it doesn't mean run out and buy a pet, you know, and just assume that like your kid's going to do better with their diabetes, but it can be a way to teach kind of motivation, etc. You let them loose.
Hey, you got to learn how to handle your pets.
I didn't want them to jump off. Well, that's it. So those are 6 tips for having a pet. And with that, we're going to go snuggle Wilbur some more and get de-stressed.
Come on, snuggle.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
All right. Bye.